This is the Ianos Dytis. This is the third dive watch in the trilogy of watches that Ianos has released so far. First we had the Ianos, then we had the Mechanikos, and now we have the Dytis. In studio today, I have the ID02, which is the blue model of the Dytis. This watch was lent in by Ianos, so thank you to Jacob for sending it in so I can review it hands-on. Now, as you guys know, I am a big fan of this brand. I've owned the Ianos, I've owned the Mechanikos, and it does hold a special place in my heart because it is a Greek micro brand, if not the only Greek micro brand on the market today. And this is where the brand shines because every watch is designed from the ground up and it takes inspiration from Greek stories throughout history. But while the other two watches had stories that were much more specific, this is more of a general story of Greece itself. And we can see that throughout the entire watch, whether it's the dial colors being that very vivid blue and white, the 12 o'clock index being inspired by the stripes of the Greek flag, or the mati at the 6 o'clock subseconds. So once again, thank you to Jacob for letting me borrow this watch, and if you haven't done so already, please hit the like and subscribe buttons down below. It really does help the channel. All right, let's flip the camera and get into the specs. We have a case diameter of 41 millimeters, a lug to lug of 48.5 millimeters, a lug width of 20 millimeters, a thickness from the top of the crystal to the bottom of the case at 14.5 millimeters. That can be a little deceiving because there is an integrated strap channel. So from the top of the crystal to that strap channel, it is 11.5 millimeters. The weight of this watch is 86 grams on the strap, and that is because of the Grade 2 titanium that is used throughout. It has 300 meters of water resistance, a sapphire crystal with AR coating. Powering this watch is the Sellita SW360-1. It is a 31 joule movement that beats at 4 hertz and does have 42 hours of power reserve. The MSRP of this watch is around $2,250. The Dytis does carry that same Ianos DNA with the integrated strap channel, the fixed lugs, and the unibody case design. Now taking a look at that bowl-shaped dial, printed above the handstack we have the brand name Ianos. Below the handstack we have the evil eye or mati symbol at the 6 o'clock subseconds hand, and written in Greek below that we have the word Dytis. At the 12 o'clock index we have these 4 horizontal lines which represents the Greek flag, and the rest of the indices are a revised version of the stone markers that have been used throughout all of Ianos's designs. This dial is very utilitarian but also has enough design where you can't mistake this watch for anything else. Jacob did do an interview with Sips and Seconds, and I'll post that video down in my description box below, but he said he wanted to create a dial that is unmistakably Greek. So right when you look at it, you know that it's going to be a Greek design. And when I look down at the watch, yeah, all I can think about is Greece every time I look at this dial. So mission accomplished. Covering the dial is a slightly raised and domed piece of sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating. Surrounding the dial is a 120-click unidirectional Grade 2 titanium bezel with a single pip at the 60-minute mark. Finishing on top of the bezel is a sandpaper texture. On the side of the bezel, we have a very deep and easy to grip coin edge. This bezel does remind me of the Mechanikos because it does have that same sandpaper finish on top, but the coin edge on the side of the bezel has been a little bit more refined. It's easy to operate and functions as it should. The bead blasted case is also made out of that Grade 2 titanium, which does give the watch a muted look. At the 3 o'clock, we have crown guards, and we have a titanium crown, which is signed with a Ianos logo. When we take off the strap of the watch, we can see the fixed lugs, as well as that unique strap channel, which I think is an ingenious design. One reason I don't like having a NATO strap or a single pass-through strap is that it lifts the watch off your wrist, and it's basically just riding on that strap. But with the strap channel, the watch fits flush against your wrist, so it feels really good. The only downside is that it throws off the spec sheet a little bit. It makes the watch seem bigger than it actually is. And while it is a thick watch at 14 millimeters, it actually hides that a little bit more, and it does not feel that big while it's on your wrist. Moving down to the strap provided, we have a smooth finish on top with 2 floating keepers with the Ianos logo and a redesigned Grade 2 titanium buckle. So now that we took a closer look at the Dytis, let me go ahead and give you some pros and cons before I give you guys my final thoughts. And we'll start off with the cons, with the first con being what makes Ianos unique, and that is the fixed spring bars with the integrated strap channel. While I do think the design is very unique and ingenious, there is no option for a metal bracelet. I personally love metal bracelets on my watches. Here I'm stuck with single pass-through rubber, leather, and NATO style straps. and there is no bracelet option. And I think they can do a really solid bracelet. I really hope they want to expand their collections and make bracelet versions of the watches they already have. I would love to see this on a grade 2 titanium bracelet. I think it would look great, but sadly we can't do that with the design as it currently is. My next con is going to be the lume on the mati symbol. And while the lume around the entire watch is great, it shines bright, that mati symbol, it just doesn't have as much lume as the rest of the dial. The rest of the indices and hands shine bright, the pip on the bezel shines great, but that mati symbol is just lacking a little bit there. I think they could have used the same material that's on the rest of the indices and made a 3D evil eye and put it at the 6 o'clock. That would have popped a lot more. All right, that's enough of the cons. Let's move on over to the pros, with the first pro being the overall design of this watch. So if you're Greek, or you have Greek heritage, or if you just have an appreciation of Greece, every time you look down at your wrist, you're going to smell the sea salt. You're going to taste the ouzo. It just has that look where every single Greek is going to appreciate it. And for me, it takes me back to Greece every single time I glance down to tell the time. My next pro is going to be how well this watch wears on my wrist, coming in at 86 grams for a 41 millimeter 300-meter diver is impressive. This hugs my wrist perfectly. The relatively stubby 48-millimeter lug-to-lug is going to fit a number of different wrists. And not only does the rubber strap look great, it feels good against the skin. And once again, thanks to that integrated strap channel, everything sits flush against your wrist. It's a nice smooth surface across the entire case back of the watch. You're not getting a raised portion like you would with a NATO strap or a single pass-through strap. Everything sits flush against your wrist and it feels amazing. And since it is made out of that grade 2 titanium, everything is light. And yes, it is a 41 millimeter 300 meter diver, but it feels like I'm wearing my G-Shock 5600. It's barely noticeable on the wrist. So I think they did a great job with the material choice here. My next pro is going to be the legibility of this watch, either in daytime or in nighttime. The hands are very broad, the indices are very bold, and the pip on the bezel is very legible. And my last pro is going to be the fit and finish of this watch. Whether we're talking about the bead blasted finish of the case, how well the bezel operates, or how smooth the crown threads in and out. I would have no issues taking this watch to Greece and hopping in the Aegean. So there it is, the Ianos Dytis. Every time I look at this watch, I just picture myself on the beach with a frappe in my hand, just enjoying the sights. It's really hard to describe why I love this brand so much, because while there are American brands and Swiss brands and German brands out there, there's only one Greek micro brand. And while it does have its drawbacks, like the lack of bracelet option, it does have unique brand DNA, like the strap channel, the unibody case, the Greek storytelling. Everything, when it's all added together, makes for a great watch, especially if you have a Greek background. And it's really hard to describe the feeling I would get when I would wear my Mechanikos. It's like I had a connection with anyone wearing a Ianos brand watch, whether it's the Avisos, the Mechanikos, the Dytis. I felt that connection. It's almost like when I would see the Parthenon, or I would see these ancient statues, or ancient pottery. It feels very similar in that way. And while I'm not trying to compare the Parthenon to a watch brand, I do feel that same sense of pride when I look down at my wrist. It's really weird to describe because there are plenty of Japanese and American and Swiss brands out there. And if you are from one of those countries, yeah, it may not mean anything to you, but to me, this is a brand that is very close to my heart that I've seen from Kickstarter all the way to today. It makes me very happy to see this brand grow to where it's gotten today. And I'm very excited to see where this brand goes in the future. And the cherry on top for me is that these watches are designed from the ground up. They're not trying to be a homage brand. They're not trying to offer you the best spec per dollar. They try to tell unique stories with a cohesive DNA that expands the entire brand. And that's what I look for in a micro brand. I really don't care about offering me the best watch for the cheapest price. I want something that means something to me, especially when it comes to a micro brand. So that's what I look forward to, and that's what Ianos delivers. So once again, thank you to Ianos for letting me borrow this watch. I'm going to go ahead and leave a link down in the description box below. And if you haven't done so already, please hit the like and subscribe buttons as well. It really does help the channel. And if you're still here, go ahead and check out my Mechanikos review right here. I love the Mechanikos. Spoiler alert. Love the Mechanikos. Right there. Click it. Go. Click. Now. Go. Now.